Yesterday, I talked about the scandal with Catherine Connolly, saying that she would hire sexual predators to work at the Ross, saying that she kicked out poor Irish families working as a barrister on behalf of Irish financial institutions. Before that, Jim Gavin fell out the race. We talked about his scandals as well, sleeping with different people and obviously not paying back €3,300 to the Sunday World editor. So now, who do we have left? The third shit candidate, Heather Humphreys. Now, Heather Humphreys, to be fair, I scoured the internet for a few hours and I couldn't find much on her. Now, me personally, I think she's the worst candidate of all of them, to be perfectly honest. But at the same time, Fine Gael, Fianna Fáil, Sinn Féin, whatever the hell, whoever backs who, they're all just terrible. Maria Steen should be on this ballot, and we'll talk about her afterwards. So first and foremost, the only allegations or scandals that I could find about Heather Humphreys is animal cruelty, one, and the second one, not paying property tax for her multiple houses that she owns and rents out people in Dublin. She was basically alleged that she was hunting foxes or something like that, which, here lads, that being said, we live in Ireland, okay? We're a big nation of hunters. We also love to eat meat, like beef, cattle, shit like that. We're farmers. No one gives a shit about animal cruelty in this country. Like, to be perfectly honest, guys, that's not gonna make her fall out of the race. That is not gonna make her any worse off in the Irish presidential election, to be perfectly honest. Like, Heather Humphreys is a terrible speaker. She has shit ideas, but at the same time, her not caring about foxes and whatever, hunting these animals, who gives a shit? I personally don't like it because I think animal cruelty is awful unless you're eating the animal. I would never shoot a fox because you're not going to eat a fox unless you're starving on a desert island somewhere. And Ireland is not a desert island. As you guys can see, the green grass behind me, okay? It's a lush, beautiful area of soil, and we can plant and, have potatoes and cows, right? For dinner. Beef and potatoes, my favorite meal. But in my personal opinion, she's still the worst candidate. She's just terrible. Now, the second actual scandal that could get her kicked out of the presidential race, same as Catherine Connolly, same as Jim Gavin, is this. This is an article from The Ditch. I've never heard of The Ditch. They sound like a shit newspaper. No offense, that name sucks. And that's coming from a guy that called himself County Gains. It says, Fine Gael's Heather Humphreys has avoided a property tax in an old constituency office. So this is The Ditch reporting. Now, this is the only article reported on The Ditch. Fine Gael's Heather Humphreys has avoided property tax after failing to declare she's no longer entitled to an exemption. Now, this is pretty scumbaggery because we know a lot of big politicians in Dublin. They own multiple properties, 5, 10, sometimes 50 properties that they're making millions from people around Dublin every single year. And to not pay your property tax, not a big deal to me. I don't really give a shit because the taxes in this country, the Irish government just put them on illegal migration and bring more criminals into the country. So I don't really give a shit about that side of it. But when she's not helping the Irish public, she's screwing over the Irish public with raising rent higher and higher. I have no care for her, okay? For failing to make this declaration, Humphreys could face criminal prosecution under laws introduced when she was a governor minister. So she could go to jail for this. As Social Protection Minister, Humphreys spoke in the Dáil about the importance of applicants notifying her department of any changing circumstances so that no overpayments occur. F off and leave me alone was her answer to Ditch after admitting in 2023 she was using 2 upper floor derelict flats as storage for the office at the same Cavan property without planning permission. Oh shit. She told him to F off? Damn! That kind of makes me like her a little bit, guys. Telling these shitty newspaper journalists to go fuck themselves, you know what I mean? That kind of makes me like you, to be perfectly honest. But no, Heather Humphreys bought 79 Market Street, Coodahill in 2011 after her election in the Dáil earlier that year, so she's investing in property to make more money, right? She was exempt from paying business rates, also known as commercial rates, till November 2024, while the property was used as her constituency office. Council applies these rates to commercial and industry property funds, public lighting, roads, local economic development, and community services. Because Humphreys didn't seek re-election in the Dáil 2024, she was no longer entitled to this exemption by November that year. Under Section 10, whatever, of the Local Government Rates and Others Matters Act 2019, Humphreys was obliged to notify Cavan County Council within 10 days that their property wasn't a constituency office anymore. Failure to inform the council of a change in circumstance is a criminal offence under the same provision. Oh, damn. So she's going to jail, lads. They're all going to jail. Cavan County Council told the Ditch yesterday that it had not received any notification the former Justice Minister Coodahill property is no longer used as a constituency office. The council also confirmed that the business rates were not levied off the property in 2025. No payments were received from Humphreys. Humphreys has been contacted for comment. I'm sure she'll tell them to go F off once again. So that's the big scandal for Heather Humphreys. We've now destroyed 3 out of 3 of the Irish politicians. My recommendation to all my beautiful, loyal Irish patriots of this country, X out everybody else from your ballot. Okay, if you see Heather Humphreys, whatever, Catherine Connolly, Jim Gavin on the ballot, X out everybody and write at the very top of your ballot in a big black marker, Maria Steen, and a big green tick next to her name. Because we would love to see Maria Steen still be in the running for this, but she was cancelled out in an undemocratic process. The absolute bastards. Everybody vote for Maria Steen. We love Maria Steen, and hopefully she wins the Irish presidential election. Hashtag spoil your vote. Do not let the Irish government force you into voting for people that we don't want to see in office, that we don't want to see as a president. I love you all. If you want to support me, hit the join link underneath the video so I can support you back, because that's what I do it for, the viewers, okay? I'm not doing this to get rich, guys. All right, just so I can put food on the table and live. I still drive a piece of shit Toyota 2007. All right, Toyota Auris. Let me know your thoughts on that. If you enjoyed that video, like, comment, subscribe. I think 80% of people still aren't subscribed, so smash that subscribe button, and I'll see you all in the next one, lads. Peace.